Hey there, it's Zach, and I'm pretty drunk. I do have lined up here the beverages that have been kind of getting me through my days until, you know, 4:30 or 5 at least. We have water, of course, coffee. Though I'm thinking I have to give up coffee, because I don't like the control it has over me, and other things that have controlled me as much as coffee has, I've gotten rid of. I didn't seem to be able to control them. And then there's something that's had its hooks in me before and seems to at the moment again. Drinking probably a bit too much. Um, Especially for someone who used to drink a lot and has basically gotten out of the habit of drinking to the point where I'm down to just a couple drinks a month generally. But we're drinking regularly and rather heavily over the last few days, relatively speaking. Um, and it's funny because, it's not that it's not emotionally draining, because it is, but there isn't a whole lot to do. I went to the store for my sister, made a couple of meals, did some laundry, you know, basically tried to tidy up after myself and everyone else, but he's not up very often, and when he is, he doesn't do much. And it is kind of disconcerting, the way conversations go now, a lot of them. In comparison to the last time I went through this at this level, um, my friend Joanne um, basically was lucid, and then she lapsed into a coma and died fairly shortly thereafter. But there just never was a point where she basically was anything other than herself, anyone. And Jim's very different. The hospice nurse just the other day came in and said something which, you know, kind of brought it home to me. And it's, I think, a tendency that people have. And she said, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that it's all the drugs. And, because, he's on some terribly serious pain medication. I know it's something that's stronger than morphine. It's administered in a pump, and he can give himself additional bursts of it, called boluses, every 15 minutes. It's I'm terrible with drug names. I can't remember what the name of it is. I just remember something that begins with a D. Um, and yeah, I can't remember where I was going with that. Hey, I'll have a drink while I think about it. Cheers, everyone. So anyway, I think I'm just going to drop that whole line of inquiry, and that's basically what life's been like. So the rest of the time, I guess I've been sort of doing what I usually do. They're kind of they're in the computer business, so they have tons of computers lying around all the time. It's not that difficult to get an internet connection. It's sort of like being in an internet cafe, except no one else is there, and you have to get your own coffee. Uh, um, so I've been doing what I usually do. I've been dropping. I actually kind of felt guilty, dropping in on YouTube initially, but now I just have to face the fact that they're sleeping a whole lot. They go to bed at about 7 o'clock, and they're asleep by 8, and then they're not. He doesn't. I think he's up a bit during the night, but generally he's not really up in any substantial way until 10 o'clock, the next day. So it's a big long gap. It's like over half the day. And he does spend almost all of his time sleeping now. I mean, he's up for like his good time, his lucid time is usually between like 4 and 7 in the evening, and you can have brief conversations with him, and he's like a kind of a ghost of his own self. Oh, I remember what I was going to talk about. Uh, the nurse said that people blame it on the medication, but you wouldn't just get the old brother-in-law back, just in pain. Um, his body is shutting down, and I think it was really, um, I don't know, for me it was really telling today. It was just like something really simple that I saw my sister do, where she held out this cable to him, because she was having a hard time figuring what it was for. She said, "Oh, well, he'll know," and she just held it out to him. And he looked at it, and he said it was a USB cable, and it clearly wasn't a USB cable. But it was weird because, I mean, my wife was telling me about a whole bunch of this, like, kind of left brain, right brain sort of stuff, where you sort of have the one side of the brain is sort of like the rationalizer, and even if the emotional side of the brain does something, the rationalizer will always kind of step in to try to invent a plausible story later. And of course, I was acting logically at the time, and you could see him, the kind of the rationalizer stumbling around, and just kind of using spare parts of thoughts floating around in his head to try to construct something. It's really something to watch. He's such a young guy. It really does make everything just so much worse. And I know there are like places in the world where, I mean, the unfortunate death of someone young is a all too commonplace an occurrence. I think just the society and the fact that like so many of us expect to live, long lives, um, kind of just magnifies everything. That's funny. I thought I was going to end up trying to do some political commentary. Um, as I mentioned, I've been doing the things I usually do, which means I've been like watching Democracy Now! And I guess I've had some ideas about that, but honestly, I'm probably too plastered to try to get any of that stuff across. So I think I'm just going to do another one of my kind of staying in touch videos. And I'm sorry, what I should have said at the beginning is like, this is going to be one of those rambling videos where I just go on forever and don't really say anything of consequence. And feel free to ignore it and go watch something where somebody has perhaps not been drinking or something. But for the tough people, my friends who have stuck through me with watching this video, me slurring through my words and stuff, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. And I don't know, just the expressions of support from people, have helped me man up so I can like be there for my sister and for her husband. And thanks. This is Zach, and yeah, you know where the fuck I'm from.